Penguin Audio presents The Darlings by Cristina Alger. Read by Jonathan Freed. Introduction. This is it, he thought, as he clicked on his left blinker. The end of the road. The sign for the bridge had snuck up on him. He had done this drive before, but not at 2 a.m., and he had never been much of a night driver. There had been a little traffic leaving the city, but now there was almost none. Every time a car passed him on the left, he wondered who the driver was and why they were on the road this late. He wondered if they were thinking the same about him. More than one driver had turned to look at him as he passed by. Checking out the car, he thought. He probably shouldn't have brought the Aston Martin. Even in the dark, it was a real showstopper. Of all his cars, it was his favorite. It was a near-perfect replica of the one driven by James Bond in Goldfinger and Thunderball. The original had sold at auction 2 years before for over $2 million. He would have bought it in a heartbeat if he had had the opportunity. But this was the next best thing. Perfectly restored and refinished in classic silver. Even to a professional's eye, it was almost indistinguishable from the genuine article. As he merged toward the bridge turnoff, a white Kia pulled up alongside him. For a moment, he locked eyes with the driver. The guy gave him an approving smile, a thumbs up. Usually, he got a little rush from impressing guys like that. Some accountant from Westchester, who probably made less in a year than he could in a day. This time, it sent his heart racing, and not in a good way. It was a miscalculation. This wasn't the time to be attracting attention. He hated miscalculations. There had been a lot recently, which was, of course, how he had ended up parked at the base of the Tappan Zee Bridge at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday. Not exactly Plan A. His mind whirred as he parked the car and switched off the headlights. The engine fell silent, and all he could hear was the white noise of cars crossing the bridge and the rush of his own blood roaring in his ears. He sat still for a minute and stared blindly at the bridge. It looked different than it had last week. In the daylight, it looked like a steel cage suspended over the river, more like a carnival ride, a roller coaster with 2 peaks. The top beams were lit up, and the reflection danced across the black water below. It was beautiful. This was harder than he had thought it would be, maybe impossibly hard. He knew he had to stop thinking and just move, but his heart was pumping so hard that he felt faint, almost as if he were having an epileptic seizure. He reached for the bottle of Dilantin that he kept in the glove compartment. He had bottles stashed in every car, just in case. His hand shook as he twisted off the cap, and the bottle slipped out of his hands. He scooped up the pills from the passenger seat, there were only 2 left, and put them in his pocket. You know this bridge, he told himself. It's 3 miles long and 7 lanes wide, and there are 4 phones, 2 on each side. The storm was churning up the river. He couldn't see it in the dark, but he imagined it now. The cold, tufted rush of black water slipping endlessly beneath the belly of the bridge. Already there were sustained winds of up to 40 miles per hour, with gusts of up to 60 miles per hour, so the current was moving faster than normal. If someone were to jump, his body would be pulled down and under into the river, swallowed whole. They might not even find the body, just a heart-deadening splash, and gone. In the past 10 years, there have been more than 25 suicides from this bridge. They put in the phones to connect callers to a suicide prevention hotline. The weather is optimal. This has to be done now. Running through statistics and scenarios, especially the outside or unlikely ones, the ones that others might discount to 0, usually calmed him. His breath slowed a little, enough so that he could get out of the car. His shoe hit a patch of loose dirt, causing him to slip slightly. He stopped and wiped a bead of sweat from his temples.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?